Welcome back to another week of Gacha News on the 5-9 Gaming Network. I hope you enjoyed Iron Cane as my substitute last week. I'll be taking a quick vacation to handle some personal stuff, so you'll be seeing Iron Cane for the next couple of weeks. Treat him well, boys and girls. And now, another reminder to all our viewers, if you're enjoying the content, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to stay up to date with all things 5-9. Let's get going. Last week, it was announced that My Hero Academia, The Strongest Hero, will be coming to global in spring of this year. It will be available for the following regions: North America, Latin America, the United Kingdom, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, and Scandinavia. The game was originally released back in Japan in December of last year and is currently up for pre-registration for its global release. If the game manages to reach 1 million registrations, players will get 5 Katsudan, 5 drones, 30,000 credit, 200 Real Hero coins, and lastly 10 recruit tickets. In the game's most recent trailer, we see the players are able to explore iconic locations in the My Hero Academia universe, including places like Mustafu and UA High. The game will feature a single-player campaign along with co-op and PvP modes coming as well. The title is available for pre-registration via the game's official website. When it releases sometime this spring, it'll be available on both Android and iOS. Global players are eating good this week. Another title by the name of Punishing Grey Raven will also be up for pre-registration for global. Currently, it's only available to be pre-registered on TapTap, with the ability to pre-register on the Play Store and App Store coming soon. For those unaware of the game's premise, here's the gist. Humans have gone too far in their scientific research, causing the punishing to arrive. The human race has nearly gone extinct since then, with survivors fleeing to deep space. That's where the player comes in as the savior. The player must lead the final hope call, the reconstructed soldier, and take back the Earth. In terms of features, the game has impressive graphics, with some of the art even being hand-drawn. As you can see in the gameplay footage, the combat appears to be very fluid with some nice animations, resembling the look of other games like Honkai Impact and Nier Automata. The game has already been out for a while, with the Chinese version launching 2 years ago, and the JP version only coming out a few months ago. As of now, there's no official release date for Punishing Grey Raven, but official social media accounts have launched for Facebook and Twitter. Those looking for updates should follow these accounts to stay up to date on any upcoming announcements. Punishing Grey Raven will be available for Android and iOS devices. Looking forward to the global release of Touhou Project? Well, you'll be happy to hear that Collab has also a spin-off game based on the title in the works as well. The spin-off title is already available for pre-registration in China and will have a worldwide release as well. Currently, there's no word on pre-registration for the worldwide release at this time. The game will be a side-scrolling action shooter featuring the characters of the Touhou Project. Basically, it looks like it's going to be bullet hell. So if you're into those types of games, you might want to be on the lookout for this title when it eventually releases. Beyond pre-registration for the Chinese version, there's no specified date for when the game will be released. Although we don't know much about the release date of the spin-off, Touhou Project will be released for global on May 11th, so that game should keep players busy until more details arrive for the spin-off title. Touhou Project is also available for Android and iOS devices along with the spin-off, which will be available worldwide sometime in the future. For JP folk, this next story is for you. Konosuba Fantastic Days will be having collaboration with Danmachi starting tomorrow, April 30th until the 14th of May. The crossover event will not only feature characters from Danmachi, but costumes for characters like Aqua and others based on the Danmachi as well. Not just cosmetics will be added though, there will be events tailored to the collab with new monsters for players to tackle along with exclusive weapons as well. Konosuba Fantastic Days is currently only available for JP on Android and iOS, but a global version is supposed to be released sometime this year on the same platform. Poor one boys, because we lost another gacha. Arc the Lad R will be shutting down its servers on June 30th. Unfortunately, meaning that the game will no longer make it through its 3rd year anniversary. The current roadmap to complete the game's story until its eventual closure will be as follows. Tomorrow, April 30th, Chapter 6.4 will be released. In late May, 6.5 will drop. In mid-June, the final chapter 6.6 will conclude the story. A rerun of the game's outside story will also be held throughout the month of May, with the Mikazuki events also seeing a return in June. Surprisingly, even with the closure of JP version of the title, Bullet Train Games is still set to release a global version, Arc the Lad R, still promoting the game being up for pre-registration a week before this announcement. At this time, the game is still planned for a global release with no word for cancellation at this point. Arc the Lad R is available for Android and iOS for JP, with pre-registrations currently live for a global release on the same platforms. Monster Strike announced that it will be having collaboration with Jujutsu Kaisen. As of the creation of this episode, information has been scarce. That being said, by the time that this airs, there would have been a presentation revealing more information about the crossover event. What we know currently is that the Yuji Itadori will be making an appearance as a 6-star character with the fire attribute. For those unfamiliar with Monster Strike, it's a game where players slingshot monsters like pinballs into their enemies to deal damage. The game features local co-op up to 4 players and a huge roster of monsters to collect. Unfortunately, the global version of the game shut down years ago, leaving only the JP and Chinese version, meaning English speakers will have to bust out the translator to play this one. Monster Strike is available for Android and iOS for JP and China. In more disturbing news, but still Gacha related, a man from Shanghai has been arrested for allegedly attempting to assassinate the founders of Mihoyo. The man somehow managed to infiltrate the Mihoyo building while reportedly wielding a knife. Infiltration took place on the 24th, and luckily no one was injured. As to why the man went to such great lengths, he was apparently very upset with the recent changes Mihoyo made with Honkai Impact 3rd. The reason being may pertain to the removal of bunny costumes in the game. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but there was a huge uproar for this. Basically, these bunny costumes were going to come to every version of Honkai except for the Chinese version. Fans from the region created enough noise, leading Mihoyo to make an announcement on Honkai's official Twitter page. It said that they were removing the costumes because of their inappropriate nature. There's a divide in the community because of this. Chinese gacha games will have more lewd content removed or censored to the region's laws. This forces gacha developers to either make adjustments to outfits for the Chinese version or not release them at all. In Honkai's case, Mihoyo chose the second option. While not outright confirmed, it is possible that the man who allegedly targeted the Mihoyo founders tried to assault them over this decision, with it being Mihoyo's biggest controversy as of late. As a friendly reminder to all gacha players from us here at 5-9, whether you're a fish or a whale and you're upset with the decision made towards your favorite gacha, never ever resort to violence. Players have every right to be upset and have their voices heard, but sending them death threats and going to such extreme measures is never the answer. Instead, use your voice in a more productive way, and with enough people saying the same thing, a change is bound to be made. Developers listen more than you think. Now, moving on to Sly to close this out.
Thank you, Nolar. Fairytale Guildmasters has officially been released on Android and iOS. Now I know what you're thinking. Didn't they just announce the game is in development a month ago? Yes they did. And I also agree that it could have used more time in development. The schedule on the website said between April and June of 2021 for the release schedule. The concerns about this quick release are they didn't show anything pertaining to the gameplay, nothing about what characters would be in the game besides the ones shown on the poster of the announcement, and the very small pre-registration period for people to pre-register. In terms of summoning, there are UR, SSR, SR, R, and N characters in the gacha pool. The 3 UR characters of the banner are Urza, Makarov, and Jalal. The rates for a UR is 1%, so a 1 in 3 chance it is the one you are looking for. On top of that, rerolling is a major pain. If you choose to link a Google email, then your account is tied to that. You cannot use that email for another account. On top of which, you only get 5 reroll opportunities. 5 multis of 5 units, but you cannot keep all 25 units that you pull. You have to decide right then and there if you want to keep those 5 units or summon again. In terms of the gameplay aspect, it is an auto-style battle where you place units on the field and they attack in a specific order. Not a huge fan of it, but it's not completely unplayable. Overall, the game could have used more time in development as the reviews are not the best for the game. Raihan and Duraludin make their appearance in Pokemon Masters. As a special welcome gift, 3,000 gems will be presented to all players upon initial login, with another 1,500 gems over the course of 12 days. Along with Raihan comes a new time attack event. Raihan gets all stats doubled except for HP, and rewards you with double the points. Taking a look at Raihan's Syncret, he gets Supreme Entry. This applies super effective next effect to the user when the Pokemon enters a battle. He also has Tough Cookie, which powers up moves the more his defense has been raised. And he has Sandblaster 5, which powers up sync moves in a sandstorm. Alongside Raihan and the time attack event, we also received a new level cap to increase sync pairs up to level 135. Why they did this? I don't know, considering most players didn't even want level 130 to begin with. For those wondering, do I have to get all of my sync pairs to level 135 to be able to compete in an endgame content? The answer is no. If anything, you only need a handful of units at 135, with the other 2 units being the original level cap of 120. If you're wondering of who to prioritize for level 135, here are 5 sync pairs to prioritize. Signet Suit Blue and Blastoise, Signet Suit Red and Charizard, Champion Iris and Hydreigon, Skyla and Swanna, and Professor Sycamore and Xerneas. Just a quick reminder that Battle Via begins in 2 days. There's some strange things going on both versions of Grand Cross. Get it? Because both versions that have a Stranger Things collab? Anywho, yes, both versions of Grand Cross are having a Stranger Things collab. The 4 units that are included are Will, Mike, Evelyn, and Jim. Evelyn's passive reads, increases the hero's ultimate damage dealt against enemies by 40%. Remaining HP decreases by 10% for each skill use. Mike's passive is, if the hero inflicts damage on an enemy using a single target attack, applies an effect which decreases attack-related stats by 30% for 2 turns. Will's passive is, if an ally's HP falls below 50% due to enemy skill used, they will have all their stats decreased by 20%. Ultimate move gauge sealed and applies 1 superpower, which grants immunity to all damage for 1 turn. This applies when entering battle. And Jim's passive reads, at the beginning of the allies' turn, randomly applies direct hit on 2 enemies for 1 turn. Enemies with direct hit take 40% more damage and become poisoned for 1 turn when attacked by Collab heroes. This applies when entering the battle, but excludes deathmatch. Overall, these units are solid. However, in 1 month's time, JP will be having its 2nd anniversary. Unless you are a big spender or a massive fan of the series, it is best to skip this collab for the anniversary. Dragalia Lost is having its own Golden Week celebration. They have released a new Gala banner, with Vanya being a Shadow Wand and the Gala Dragon in Reborn Agni. Vanya has a bit of lifesteal in her skill 1, but she also has a unique ability called Blood Packs. If this user has 5 Blood Packs, a more powerful version of Crimson Order will be used, called Bloody Absorption. In addition to the base effects of Bloody Absorption, Vanya will also be able to dispel 1 enemy buff. Reborn Agni will inflict Scorch Rend to the enemy with his skill. Enemies that are in the break state will take reduced damage. However, because the skill damage modifier is very high, it is an even balance. Otherwise, you'd just be burning everything in your path. And while that may sound fun, it would hinder gameplay. In addition to this Gala banner, we also are receiving the Rage of Kronos event. While there is no free welfare unit, there is a Dream Summon ticket at 5,000 gold medals obtained. With this ticket, you can acquire any unit featured in the permanent pool up to the Time-Worn Torment event, which ran late last May. If you do not have her, then you go for Grace. She's the absolute best unit to acquire from the pool if you do not have her, as she allows an easier time in endgame content, both solo and co-op. If you already have Grace and are unsure of who else to get, there are a few units that would be fantastic options. Hildegard, both her normal and Valentine's alt, Lin Yu, Julieta, and Jiangxia are all fantastic choices. At the end of the day, it is based off of what you currently have, so choose wisely. That is all for this week's Gacha News. I'm your co-host Sly, signing us off here at 5-9 Gaming. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody.